In this example, we have two secants that are intersecting at a point outside of the circle. So these are considered secants because on one side, each of these segments does go outside of the circle. Now there's a special formula or process that you can use to determine a missing side length. Here, we're looking for x, which is this portion of the secant that's inside of the circle. So the way that I like to think of this formula is that I'm taking the outer part of the secant, so just the piece that's outside the circle, and I'm multiplying it by the entire secant length. So I'm going to have to determine what this entire length is. So in this case, I would add 19.6 and 5.1 together. When I do that, I get 24.1. And then on the other secant, I'm going to need to do the same thing. Take this outer portion, which is the 4.5, that outside segment length, and multiply it by the entire length of the secant. This entire length I'm going to represent as x plus 4.5. I can't combine those, so I'll just leave it as this expression. So I'm going to take both of those secants, that process of outer times entire, and set it equal to each other. So the outside of the first secant, 5.1, multiply that by the entire secant, which is 24.1. Then do the same thing with the other secant, the one at the bottom. So 4.5 times x plus 4.5. So start by multiplying 5.1 times 24.1. When I do that, I get 122.91. On the right side, I need to distribute this 4.5. So 4.5 times x is just 4.5x. 4.5 times 4.5 is 20.25. So now I'm going to go through and isolate x. So the first thing that I need to do is to subtract this 20.25 from both sides. When I do that on the left, I get 102.66, and on the right, these canceled out, so I'm left with just 4.5x. Again, continuing to isolate x. Next, I need to divide both sides by 4.5. When I do that, and let's round to the nearest tenth here, when I do this division, I get 22.81333, so to the nearest tenth, that would be 22.8, and of course the 4.5s cancel out. So that means this length x should be 22.8. Now when I compare that number to the other lengths in this diagram, that seems reasonable. So 4.5 is this little piece. I can see that x should be quite a bit larger than that. Can also see that x appears to be close to this value 19.6. 22.8 is relatively close to 19.6, so that seems like a logical answer.